Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Alex here. So, today I'm going to show you how to book a load on DAT. Specifically, I'm going to go through every single step that I go through every day. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So, first things first, usually what I do is I check on the location of my truck. So, we use this service called Samsara. It lets you track your truck's real life. So right now I'm just gonna go and see this driver right here. His name is Fernando. He's driving Conestoga. It's a flatbed Conestoga, 48 foot. So let's say right now he's in Madison. That's like Wisconsin area. So his delivery is in Milwaukee. So he's in Johnson Creek, or yeah, he's in Lake Mills. All right, so Lake Mills, Milwaukee. And so he's not far away. So he's going to do the timely delivery so I can start looking for a load. Let's say if he was too far away from Milwaukee, let's say if he was like, it's still morning, right? He hasn't started driving yet, but let's say if he still was in Minneapolis, he picked up the load in Minneapolis, by the way. I wouldn't search for a load for this guy because he most probably wouldn't make a delivery this day. So since he's very close to the delivery, I can go ahead and start searching for a load. So what I do is first I go new load search, and I know it's a Conestoga, so I choose Conestoga, and then I can also choose flatbeds. So this is a flatbed Conestoga. If you're not familiar with what flatbed Conestogas are, it's basically the same regular flatbeds, but instead of tarps, they've got this thing, Conestoga. It's like a curtain you can open up both ways. You can open up to the back, you can open up to the front, so you can load from the back, from the sides. So basically, it makes your job as a flatbed driver a lot easier, I guess. But some flatbed drivers would argue with this, saying that regular flatbeds are better with tarps. Yeah, it depends on the load, of course. So some loads require Conestogas, and some loads are no tarps. Some loads are like 4 foot tarps, or like 6 foot tarps, 8 foot tarps. So in this case, we got a Conestoga, and like I said, I'm gonna do it again. So I put Conestoga first, and then I put flatbeds, and then I start searching. So we've got the next input here is origin. So where he's at, where he's going to get loaded. It's gonna be Milwaukee. All right, Milwaukee, and then here's an important part. So where is he going? He can't go anywhere, right? Especially this driver, he wants to stay in Midwest because he doesn't like doing long loads, and he prefers doing one-day loads. So the difference between one-day load and a long load is that you can take a long load for like 5 days. You can take a load from Illinois to California. And the one-day load are usually like 500 miles, 600 miles, up to maybe 700 miles. And long loads are usually 2,000 miles and up to like 3,000 miles. Anyway, so this guy wants to stay in Midwest. And where exactly in Midwest? Let's say I use this thing called Zip Zones. I'm going to show you what that is. And it's a pretty cool thing. And it lets you choose the zones. For example, Z4 is Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and part of Kentucky, right? And like this part of Kentucky, northeastern part of Kentucky. You can choose Z3, like zip zone 3, which is Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. And since he's over here, so I'll probably choose like Z4, maybe Z2 and Z3. Okay, Z4, Z2, Z3. All right, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So instead of putting exact location, exact delivery location, I just want to put Z2, Z3, Z4, and those are all of the states in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the date. Let's say it's June 15th, and then deadhead origin. This is an important indicator. So this load board, this is DAT load board, and this search is going to search within 150 miles of Milwaukee. So I usually keep that within 150 miles because I don't want to, have the truck drive too many miles, especially with the current fuel prices. So I just put 150, and then length of the truck. Like I said, it's 48, and then we got weight, 46,000 pounds. This is the max this truck can scale. Now, I didn't mention deadhead destination, but for this specific load search, it's not important. But usually, let's say, this driver said, hey, I want to go to Los Angeles, all right? Can you take me to Los Angeles because I want to see my parents over there? And then I say, fine. And then he says, hey, you know what? You can send me to LA area. So as long as the pay is good, I can deliver and then go to Los Angeles. So, and then I can put deadhead destination. That's when the deadhead destination becomes a thing, becomes important. Maybe not important, but, if I can put 200, let's say the reason I put 150, it's just, I guess, by default. But let's say I don't find any good loads within 150 destination area. Let's say there is a load that's going from Milwaukee to somewhere in California, which is further than 150 miles away from Los Angeles. If I put 150, I wouldn't see that load, okay? So what I do when I need to send my driver to specific area or to specific place, and if I want to get all the options, I try to put maybe like 250 deadhead destination. You know what I'm saying? So I could see all the available loads that match my search criteria. So for this one, I'm just gonna delete that. Let's say Z2, Z3, Z4, which will automatically delete the destination because Z2, Z3, Z4s are huge areas, right? Z2, Z4, Z3, okay? These are huge areas, so that's why you don't put destination deadhead. Now, like I said, I skipped another point. All right, this is my little iLeo that lets my eyes exercise. All right, another indicator here, another criteria is whether the load you're searching is full or partial. Usually we search for full loads. Sometimes you search for partial loads, and I guess I'll explain it right away what partial is. So basically, let's say your truck, you got a load that's let's say 10 feet long and then 10,000 pounds only. So, and the driver says, hey, can you find me a partial load that goes in the same direction? And that's when this search criteria becomes handy, because you can put partial and then you can put the exact length you're searching for and then maybe find that partial load. Okay, for now we're going to stick with full, and then so the next search criteria is length, which is 48. You don't want to be over 48 foot. That's how much the trailer's length is. And then weight, like I said, 46,000, and search back in 2 hours. So this search will go back in 2 hours. So let's say someone posted a load 3 hours ago, and then I won't see that, because if you search back like 5 hours, you will see the loads that were posted 5 hours ago, but most likely they won't be available because someone already took them. The loads go fast, all right? So by default, I actually never changed this, you know. Since I came here, since I started working as a dispatch, I never changed the search back number. So I keep it at 2. All right, let's give it a search. Okay, all right. So I got 179 total results, which is not bad and not good either. I mean, it's okay, all right. I don't complain because right away I see this load over here from Chicago, Illinois to Ooltewah, Tennessee. Let's see what they say here. So call bill at blah, blah, blah. Flatbed stack depths, 6-foot tars, 1 pick, 2 drops. All right, 2 drops, kind of, you know. This is already something that I don't want to do because I don't usually do more than 2 drops or 2 picks or whatever. So I don't want to complicate my journey, and it's not like, I mean, unless they're paying really good or, unless there's a huge reason I want to do the drops, more than 1 drops, more than 1 picks. Otherwise, I stay with 1 pick, 1 drop. For this case, let's just see how far are the drops. Okay, it says 1 pick, 2 drops, Knoxville, Tennessee, other stop. All right, so it's going to be Knoxville and then Ooltewah. All right, let's see. I go to Google Maps, you know. Google Maps, by the way, is one site that you often go. So I'm going to go with, what was this? Ooltewah, right? Yes. All right, Ooltewah, Tennessee, and then I put directions, and then I click directions, and then I go Knoxville. So it's almost 100 miles away. So let's say I'm going to come from Chicago. I'm going to pick up the load from Milwaukee. I'm going to get empty and then go to Chicago and pick up the load, and then come over to Knoxville. Let's say tomorrow morning. Maybe it's gonna take me an hour at least to unload, maybe more. I don't know. Let's say my truck arrives at 8 a.m. He gets empty 9:30 a.m. and then after that, it's gonna take me 1 hour 29 minutes to get to Ooltewah. But it's by Google Maps since it's a semi truck. It's going to take at least 2 hours, if not more, maybe like 2 hours, 10 minutes. So it's going to be 9:30 plus 11:30 by the time I get to the second drop. And then at the second drop, I'm going to spend, I guess, another couple hours to unload. So by the time I get empty, it's going to be around 1:32 in the afternoon, which makes it already hard to find loads because usually facilities close around 3 p.m. It depends on the facility, but I don't want to risk. That's why this particular load is less interesting than other ones. I don't usually take this long to decide whether I want this load or not. It's just for the sake of this video, I want to make sure you guys understand everything. Okay, so I don't know. So you know what I would do? I would probably email or call this guy and then say, well, before I do it, I want to calculate how much I want, right? So I got almost 100 miles deadhead plus 620 miles loaded miles. So it's going to be 720. So usually what I do is I go to Windows R, which is going to open this thing, and then like you see here, it says calc. I just hit enter, and it shows me this calculator. Now I can calculate, let's say 720 total miles, and then I want $3 per mile at least. So I'm just gonna see how much they're paying already. But this is for 1 pick, 1 drop. That's how much I want, right? For this particular lane, okay? Because if the load was going not to Tennessee is a good area. I am sure I will find another good load to somewhere else. That's why I want to keep it at $3 per mile. Otherwise, if this was going to Minneapolis, which is a dead area for flatbeds, at least for now, I would probably at least go for let's say 720 by at least $4 per mile, at least, you know, if not more. So since it's a good area that I'm going to, I'm gonna stick with $3 plus the drops. So 22 already good, but if it was one pick, one drop, I would take it right away. Since it's 2 drops and I'm risking not finding the next load, I'm gonna ask for like maybe, I guess, I'm gonna ask 26 and see what this guy says, you know. I would probably call this guy or email this guy and ask for 26. And then I know if I asked for 26, he would probably give me 24, given that it's got 2 drops. And then I don't know if he gave 24, I'd probably offer this to my driver. You know, I would tell the broker. I would ask the broker to put him on hold and call the driver and offer this information to the driver. Okay, but in real life it happens really fast. So, or in real life, I usually, you know, I put everything over here. Let's say, so Milwaukee. And then I'm gonna put Chicago, this pickup place. So, and I'll just screenshot this like this. I have a wonderful app called Lightshot. So what I do is I just copy this and then send it to my driver, you know, and then I'll explain, hey, like you see in the image, it picks up in Chicago. There's a 100-mile deadhead, and it's going to Knoxville and then Ooltewah. And there's 100 miles between the first and the second drop, and they're paying 24. What do you think? And this guy will think, you know, okay, all right. And he would say, hey, can you ask 25? And then he would say, if he pays 25, I'll do it. And then I would go back to the broker and I say, my driver's asking 25. Do you think you can do it? And then broker would probably say, you know what, I can do 24.50 or something like that. Or if it's, you know, if this customer is paying good for that broker, he would probably say like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it for 25. And then I would book this load for 25, and that way my truck would be covered for that day. Okay. So otherwise, let's say we didn't see this load, and then I would keep going. The first thing I push after the search, let's say, now forget about this load. Let's say the truck is still open. We need to find the load. All right, and we just hit search. Let's put, for some reason it was gone. Okay. Okay. So let's say we just hit search, and these are the loads. So first, I want to see at the highest rate. So I click on this rate here, over here, and then I'll see that, oh, this guy is paying for 700 miles. He's paying almost $4,000. But you got to look at where he's going and see, okay, see, this is why this company is paying that long, because it's 65-foot long steel tubing, no tarp. And then I guess you'll need permissions. Our trucks are only 53-foot long max. So this is not my load. Usually what I do, because we got a team over here, and then I don't want my other colleagues end up wasting time calling about this load, so I just put unqualified over here. Okay, I submit. And then so my colleagues will see that this load is not for us, for sure. Or they will see the little blue ribbon over here. Okay, let's keep going. So the max is right now is 3950, which is not, we're not qualified for this load. And so far the best one looks like is the one we discussed. And I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I will take that load. I don't know. Because other than that, I don't see anything else. So, and it's still early in the morning, so usually when I don't see any loads, and if it's early in the morning, I wait. I don't rush. What I do, I don't want to call this number. I just email this guy at JB Hunt and then wait for his response. And then since it's early in the morning, there's no rush. I can ask probably for like more than I would ask if it wasn't early. So anyways, this is the basically what I do while trying to search for loads. What else did I miss? I hope I didn't miss anything. Okay. All right. So let's say we don't have the Z4, Z3, the zones. Let's say this guy wants to go. Let's put more zones. All right. Let's say this guy wants to go Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z6. So Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri is also in there. The reason I didn't put Z1, Z6 in the first place to begin with, or Z5, is that they will pay good to these areas, okay? Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. These days, to North Carolina, West Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania, they usually pay good. The reason I don't want my drivers to go there is that it's going to be tough to get them out of there. There are not too many loads from those areas, okay? So you have to kind of plan your trip. So let's say there's a load to PA, as you can see here. So Grantville or like Hanover, Circle Logistics is paying 26. Okay, so let's talk about this load over here. At first sight, it looks like a perfect load. It's only 664 miles, 100 miles deadhead, and it's paying 26. It's a perfect load, but let's calculate. So it's going to be 664 plus 94 deadhead, 758 total miles, paying 26. So divided 758. So it's paying over 3.4 bucks, which is good, right? But it's PA. By the way, and on DAT load board, if you click on trip, you can see the actual trip on the map. Okay? So it's going to here, all right? But the reason that this load is paying good, it's because it's going to Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, there are two things in Pennsylvania. First is tolls. My drivers usually say that it takes them a lot of money to get over here, to PA. So because there are too many tolls, they don't like going there. That's the number one reason. The second reason is the mountains and passes. It's really stressful to drive in PA, in East Coast mostly. The truck drivers don't want to go to East Coast because they say it's stressful. I've never been there. I've never driven a truck, so I can't say anything. For us, I didn't know this until I started working as a dispatch. But I know that that's why this load is paying 26, over 3.4 bucks per mile. So if it's going to PA, I go and take off maybe $300 right away for the tolls, because the tolls are not just one way, and they're both ways, okay? So if you don't get a load out of PA, then you're gonna pay the tolls both ways, and you don't have the next load, right? Basically. So, anyways, first thing is tolls. The second thing is the mountains. So that's why I would ignore this load, or I would ask at least 3,000. If he's paying 3,000, I would probably take this load, or I would probably convince my driver to take this load. Okay, let's keep going. We got St. Joseph, from Portage, Indiana to St. Joseph. They're paying 23, which is also not bad, but like I said, it's going to a bad area. There are no tolls. The roads are nice, but it's a dead area for the loads. I won't get a good comeback from here. So again, unless they're paying like 28, I will not take this load. Or unless I have a load that's already waiting for me in Minnesota, I don't do this. I'm going to tell you, so like you probably understand my strategy, what I do. I'll give you a few strategies and then I'll talk about what to do if there are no loads going to a good area. Okay, I'm going to talk about it in a second. So, like I told you, I click on the rate, and I'll see how much they're paying, where. I kind of look at the overall picture of that day, at the amount of loads. Right now, there are not too many loads, by the way, because it's too early. And then I usually also click on the truck, because if I see Conestoga, this means that they can load only Conestoga. And then this usually sometimes means they would pay more. You know, sometimes they put the prices over here, but if there was no price, I would definitely call that load because they really want that Conestoga. But the reason they didn't put the load, they're open for offers. So I would offer some crazy money and then they would probably pay. But I don't know. You never know. This is the work of your, this is the dispatching. You know, this is how you have to like kind of think sometimes. It did happen once. There was a load for like 300 miles. I got $3,000, I remember, because there was only one Conestoga in the area, in Minneapolis, by the way. I sent my truck to Minneapolis, and since nobody goes there, I guess there was no Conestoga, and there was one load that required Conestoga, and I didn't find the load, by the way. At first, I didn't notice that load because it was on the board, but it was only 300 miles and it was going to a dead area. And then I guessed, you know, I thought, okay, they're probably paying like 900 or like 1,500 at most. But then I did a post truck, which I'm going to talk about in the later videos, I guess. I did a post truck and they called me. They said, can you do this for 2,000? And then when they asked for 2,000, that's when I realized I could ask more. So I said, I'll do it for 35 max. I mean, if you can't make 35, sorry. And then they said, we'll think about it. And then they hung up. And then they called me back in like an hour. And they said, is your truck still available? And I'm like, okay, yeah, it is. Let's do it. And then they paid $3,000 and I felt good. So yeah, sometimes it makes sense to click on the truck to see what these loads, you know, show up. What kind of loads show up. So, like I said, rate. Click on the truck. All right. Now, let's say fine. Let's say fine. Let's go ahead and click on the rate again, and then let's say fine. I will send them to let's say St. Joseph, Minnesota. Let's say I'm gonna call this load, and then I'm gonna ask for like 3,000, and this guy will say, "You crazy? For 3,000? What are you talking about?" And I'm gonna say, "Hey, you know what? If I don't go there for 3,000, it'll be hard for me to get back because from there I will probably get a load that's only that's only paying 1,000 or something." And then this guy would think about it, and then let's say he would give me 28, and then I take that load, and then what I do, I try to search the next load right away. So he's going to St. Joseph, Minnesota. What I would do, I would copy it, and today is 15th. I would go search again, and then I put St. Joseph and do the same thing, different date, but the rest is the same thing. And then, as you see, there are only like 42 total results and only 4 matching my specific search criteria. The stuff that appears below this gray line, gray bar, is all of the search results that don't match your search criteria. So like as you can see here, there's too much deadhead, or like it's picking up on 17th, or like too old or something. So everything that's below this gray bar doesn't match your search criteria, okay? So now let's look at the search results. We've got 4 loads that are going to South Dakota, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Delaware. All of them are not really good, okay? All of them suck, basically, because even though this one is paying good, but it's going to North Dakota. If you search Newtown, North Dakota, let's just see here. Let's search for today. Boom. There won't be any loads. And then it's a Conestoga, remember? So it doesn't mean it might work. But if you search, let's say Birmingham, Alabama is burning hot these days. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. See, 55, like, see, from Birmingham, Alabama to Lakeville, Minnesota, which is Minneapolis area, I guess. Let's see over here. Yes, it's a Minneapolis area, and they're paying 45, which is crazy. Or like, I'll show you more. Let's say I would probably take this load for sure. Columbus, Mississippi to Girard, Ohio, they're paying $32.50. Or Niles, Michigan. This is not a bad load at all. So, but they need tanker endorsement, non-hazardous liquid cooler in totes, which we don't have. So I would skip on this one. But I would probably take this one too. No, it's the same thing, tanker endorsement. Landstar pays really good, but we don't work with Landstars. Our company doesn't work with Landstar because our safety scores are too low for this company. What else? I mean, I just wanted you to see why I try to take my trucks to good areas. This is why. What you're seeing is why I take my truck to good areas. Even if they're not paying as well as they're paying to a bad area. So, okay. So let's go back to Milwaukee. This truck, which is going to be in Milwaukee soon. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and then if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. I will try to cover them in my next videos, and see you guys later.